Former Teen Mom 2 star Kailyn Lowry is back back in the sauce. She took to her Twitter account to poke some fun at the situation with her fourth or potentially fifth baby daddy, Elijah Scott. As we all know, Elijah Scott was sent by Kail on a cruise with his brother. And on this cruise, he found some ladies that he was attracted to. One in particular, I think her name is Britt or something like that. And he spent a lot of time with her. And she shared a lot of photos and videos of her time with this man. And she said that there was a lot of flirting. I can't remember, but did she confirm if they hooked up or not? Or did he invite her to hook up? Something like that. And ever since that came out, it's been pretty off between Kail and Elijah. At times, she likes to pretend that they're back on. For example, in the most recent episode of her bestie podcast with Becky, she was kind of hinting at being back on with him, but I do not believe that they are back on, right? So take a look at this video that she posted on the TikTok to get the tongues wagging again, and we're going to talk about it on the flip side. And if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please do not hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content and to keep on pushing The Morning Report to you, okay? Here goes. So there you go. She was joking about it. She listen, you got to laugh to keep from crying at times, don't you? She says there's some propaganda, and this is a very popular TikTok trend at the moment, propaganda that she is not falling for, including cruises. And we all know that the cruise is where Elijah allegedly cheated on her, right? And she also is not falling for that's just how men are propaganda, because a lot of people will tell you, listen, this is just how men are. Men cheat. You have to accept it if you want to be in a long-term relationship with a man, right? And I guess perhaps one of Elijah's excuses on the cruise was that, or perhaps something about blue balls or whatever, because she said that's some more propaganda that she is not falling for either. So I do believe that she's done with him, and that these are some of the excuses that he threw her way. There was something else that she said that I thought was kind of crazy. She said she's not falling for the propaganda of contraception. She joked, obviously, right? Because she's got 7 kids by 4 or 5 men. And obviously somebody like that doesn't really believe in contraception, right? Much less condoms, which is contraception, right? So she's poking fun at that as well. And honestly, I truly wish that this girl would educate herself on condoms and whatnot. Because, the kids are one thing, right? She's got all these kids, that's one thing. However, diseases, especially incurable diseases, the amount of times that this woman has exposed herself to diseases is absolutely insane, and the fact that she still hasn't learned from it. And we know that she got her tubes taken out, right? So now she cannot get pregnant anymore through this route. And I actually think that that's going to embolden her to continue to raw dog even more people, AKA expose herself to the potential of, more diseases, right? Or heighten her exposure to the potential of diseases. And I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cute, to be honest with you. But listen, we all have different senses of humor, I guess. Acacia says, just stop talking, Kail. I don't think she's done. He's the primary parent. And that's the thing, it feels like they are, but that she still likes that he comes around for the farm chores, and that, he does continue to be the primary parent for the children that they have together too. So listen, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a reunion in the future, because we all know that Kail has to be in a relationship, right? Kail cannot be single. And at this point, with the kind of tangled web that she's woven for herself, I'm not too sure that there are going to be many other takers. And we all know she likes them child-free. What child-free man do you know in his 20s or 30s that is going to saddle up with a woman with 7 kids by multiple men? Don't worry, I'll wait. Maybe there will be one, right? Maybe he'll be homeless. He could be a homosexual or something like that. But a quality man, no. She actually kind of lucked out with Elijah. Listen, he's not great quality, right? Because he cheats. He's a dirty dick cheater. Oops, dirty peen cheater. However, like, he has his career, he had his own home that he owned, he has his own car, like these sorts of things, right? So I was actually quite shocked that he came with all of that, and this is what he was looking for, but I digress. Julissa says, I think she was poking fun at rumors and insults people throw at her. Same here, right? And I think especially when it comes to the contraception thing, that's something that she's always trying to poke fun at. Jess says, dear God, what a beautiful photo, by the way. What is this? Nighttime at the beach with the sunset? Beautiful. Dear God, imagine her giving the talk to her kids when she does not believe in contraception. That's a good point, right? Sometimes, your parents be telling you things or whatever. You're like, really? You're telling me this? And then they hit you with a do as I say, not as I do. But what in this case, this is extreme, Well, she did not make it an excuse when she cheated on Jordan with Joe, something like the heat of the moment. That's true. She's not one to talk. Clock it. That's true. I remember that very clearly. She was pissed at him like it was his fault she cheated, Average mom. Look, we match. I think she wants him more that. Maybe that's it. Listen, some of the girls like for a man to be, trash to them. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's her thing, She doesn't care. Says, remember, she caught an STD from Joe and gave it to Jordan. Yup. And she was so unapologetic that she was so mean to that man. How is that guy doing, by the way? Last I heard from him, he got married, right? Does he have a kid? Only facts. Is he still married? She's already had STIs in the past. I don't get wanting to keep risking it. It's so gross and honestly scary that she doesn't seem to mind. And I think that that's the biggest kind of like elephant in the room here, like, obviously there's no shame in having, had an STI or whatever, right? It can happen to anybody. However, to me, the fact that you continuously expose yourself to the possibility of it, it's crazy, it's absolute, like, I cannot wrap my mind around it. And then just continuously bringing all these random new kids and fathers in for your other kids to try to like figure out what the hell is going on. Like, and then you turn around, you make a meme about it, like tee hee hee, like. And she was also kind of talking about this on the podcast too, about how like, and this is something that's really, really like weighing heavy on her is, the belief that she has traumatized her children. So she was talking about this a lot with Becky. Becky is expecting her first child with her wife. And she's just talking about, just wanting to do things right, not wanting to traumatize her children and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And Kail says, like, I'm trying to make a lot of good memories with my kids because I feel like I have put them through a lot of trauma. Like everybody knows I've traumatized these kids or whatever. I'm like, like, that's really sad, like, obviously I think it's true, right? Especially with the revolving door and whatnot, but why didn't you, like, if you're conscious of it, why don't you stop it? Like, why do you keep doing it over and over? I feel like it's one thing if it doesn't compute to you, like a Janelle. Like Janelle just doesn't have that level of consciousness, but Kail does. And so like, why keep doing it, right? Anyway, right? The kind that cheats on you shall be. And Jess says it's a full moon at Virginia Beach. Absolutely beautiful. Community uterus. I'm telling you, like, just what is it? Populating the entire neighborhood. It's crazy. It is crazy. I could never understand it. Natalie says, I never got the talk from my parents. I grew up in a religious Latina household. Girl, you and me both. But, these parents sometimes, like, God bless them, but you know what? And hopefully, I don't know. How did you turn out, Natalie? Listen, thank God I did not turn out like this, but I didn't get the talk either. Raven says, and she cheated on Hobby with Chris, and Chris cheated. Exactly. She has been cheating in pretty much all her relationships. And she was cheating on the guy. What was his name? Like Matt, Mark, something like that with Elijah. So that's why people are not even sure that Rio is Elijah's child, right? So don't come crying victim when you finally get cheated on after all the cheating that you've been doing. It's karma. Ali says, I just cannot wrap my head around why you would want your cooter to have the sniffles. Oh, not the sniffles. Or any sort of, like, that's the crazy thing to me, like having kids is hard, especially with multiple random people, right? People you don't even know. But like you got off easy compared to what you could be getting, right? Like it could be terrible. Like you could be, I don't know, you could have the monster girl. Only fact says, this is why I can't get on. She's a good mom because she has money trained. She's traumatizing those poor kids and doesn't even care how she's doing it. And it makes me sad. A lot of people, they lose all sense when somebody has money. All of a sudden, if you have like the Nick Cannon thing, people go, it's okay. He has a bunch of money. He doesn't see these children. And now the baby mamas who are defending him and signing up to take part in this, they're coming out complaining he doesn't spend time with the kids either. Please, right? Agreed. And I really do hope that now, having a daughter finally changes things for her and that she stops this. Obviously, she's not going to have more kids, right? Unless she goes down this IVF route, which, you know, she has still been playing with the idea of it, but at least there's like there's no risk of these, you know, accidentally popping out anymore. Oh my God. I'm telling you, this has to be a sort of mental illness, but I digress. Her and Nick Cannon. And you know what? Elijah too, because how the hell are you 25 years old or something? And someone said we make a good couple. Absolutely not. So how are you like 25 years old, fresh off a divorce, and this is what you jump into, and you go have all the, like, you know, he's not well either.